Greetings. Okay, so I just recorded the stuff over here. Got the strawberries and stuff. The strawberries and marigolds. But right now I want to come back and show how I was able to put holes in these, on the bottom of these. So I do this while I'm explaining. So basically last year, I just bought a bunch of these, and I didn't figure out a way how to do this, and I was kind of not in the mood to really empty out the beds and then, drill the holes or anything. So I was kind of lazy with it. But here, we're gonna kind of did a little bit too early. So you really want to leave this for at least 15-30 seconds. Last year though, so it didn't rain at all really during the summertime. It barely rained. I don't even think it rained during the fall. It rained in, December, late December, so at the beginning of winter time, and rained last month, this month. So yeah, it rained all winter. It rained a lot during the winter season, and generally speaking, I did have an issue. Yeah, here we go. We're going to twist it. I like to go like this and expand it to make sure the holes are big. So I want to do this to all four of these. So I'm just trying to talk as I speak. But yeah, this isn't necessarily the best idea. Let me see, because I have soil here. But speaking though, I may need to probably go through an exchange of soil here, because the cats took over this area, and it's not pleasant. That's just the way to say, because the whole blah say blah thing going on. Oh yeah, anyways though, so doing this with one hand as I speak. Gonna do this thing again for like 15-30 seconds. Yeah, but last year though, I did have an issue. You might want to be wearing some sort of protection for this. It's not really safe to be inhaling this. So it's kind of like the hot knife method that they like to do on those satisfying videos. I know, this is a cheaper scissors, but I think maybe to clean it off, you got to use something you may not want to use often, or like a pair of scissors, old one, and then use it to do this. But I don't really have tools, so that's why I was the most reluctant to do this. I'm not necessarily the most handiest of people, so I just try to find the easiest methods, and this is one that I finally got to start doing more about a year later. So yeah, so this is just an easy method, I'd say. Just about anyone who really isn't handy and who has an older pair of scissors, they're still functional. You can still cut things with it. Let me demonstrate. You see there's a hole in here. I am really sorry for the music. My neighbors are loud, and I just want to get as much stuff done as soon as possible, because the sun is still, even though it's daylight savings, you still have a limited amount of sunlight, so I have to just try and hustle up a little bit more. And I can't let, the sound of music right now stop me from my progress. Here, I'm gonna walk over here and do it. I'm always kind of scared to come on this side because it's not clean, and wherever there's brown, cats like to make their way and do their business, and that's not really pretty, as you can imagine. So I'm gonna do this for like another 10-15 seconds, and just enough for it to get hot and I can just burn a brief hole into it. So I think that will be enough, and then just kind of do a little twist in here. So I want to be careful of the tomato plant. So I just like to do that. Just do a little big thing, twirl around. Probably even these out a little bit more. I don't know if these holes were already, if they were here to indicate where you should put the holes, but if so, I guess that's a good indication, because I was just gonna put them under here or like maybe somewhere on the side. But these will do for now. I just need a leveled amount of drainage. So I'm gonna do this to this one as well. Yeah. See, really, I guess the challenge is you gotta find a space where you're going to put. If you have soil in there, you gotta maybe put it back in the bag if you have it, or just like a spare bin or container, or if you just want to clear it out, because a lot of it was just kind of flooded and probably has a good amount of algae growing in it. It's alright to probably I won't say toss it in the garbage, but if you have like a little plot of land that could use maybe a little bit more fertilization, like the trees over here, I'd recommend you probably put them nearby, just near it, so it can at least get some sort of fertilization going on. Actually, I don't recommend that, sorry. If it has algae in it, because algae is pretty invasive. But if it's if there was animals, or if it's plant waste and stuff, maybe add a little bit for fertilization. But if it's like too much algae, I don't recommend it. I do not recommend it. I had algae growing in here because there's no holes in the bottom of this one. And I think I kind of explained that over the summer. I think that's why the sweet potatoes and stuff that I had growing, it's just there's no holes in a lot of these. I think that was the number one challenge of last year, and probably why, also one of the reasons why maybe I didn't have such optimal growth last year. So this year, I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm learning how to just prepare more, not being so lazy, just actually taking a step back and following the instructions more, because I am kind of stubborn and a little bit, kind of buoyant or whatnot. So stuff that I am wiser this year than I was last year. Even just going to the community gardens and talking to some master gardeners about what techniques they use. Handed me a chart for what grows best in this. What grows best in this zone as opposed to others. I can't put too much weight on this because this is a little bit of a fragile growing bed. So I gotta be a little bit mindful. But yeah, I think that's what stuff that I've learned, and I've became more wise in the span of less than a year. It's 29th of March, and in about 2 weeks or so, will mark like 2.5 weeks will mark exactly 1 year since I started doing this container project in the backyard. So, I mean, I have the front yard now. The front yard is where I probably is where I plan to grow more herbs. Because some of them can do well in shade. I think tomatoes as well. Some tomatoes, not all of them, but I think the growth won't be as optimal as as if you were to have it in the sun. But if you have it in the shade, some of them can survive. And I think so I think I had in one of the last videos of last week, the garden tour, I was able to show some of the tomatoes that were ready to harvest. It was in the shade. I had it in that area the whole time for about 2 months. And I had it in the same little pot that it came with, and I didn't transplant it. And so, but I was still able to get growth despite it being in such a really small pot, along with it being in the shade. Hold up, let me just I'm gonna come around. That's the way to do it. Yeah. But yeah, in the front I'll start growing more herbs. And when I mean herbs, I mean, cooking herbs. I'm talking about basil. I already got basil, cilantro, parsley, just a number of things that would do a little bit better in the shade. I bought some organic rosemary. Even though I have 2 plants of rosemary, I think, like I said before, once the fall semester started, I kind of just stopped coming back here. I didn't really do much besides water for most of the fall season. So I bought rosemary, but then I didn't transplant it in time. So wanted to try again and find something that's more organic. So just wanted to show really quickly what I'm talking about. This one I got in 2019. I got it August 2019 at a farmer's market in Ojai. And I didn't harvest it. In fact, this was, I think, I had it growing in one of these containers, one of the long ones. Excuse the mess. Yeah, I had it growing in one of the long ones, and so it was kind of pot bound for a while, root bound. But then I decided to transplant it into here. Now, as you can see, there's other stuff. I think what I was competing the most for was just space, because I think I actually did this, or I did this around the time, even I think before I got these beds over here. So I just did whatever I could in terms of just space, and I grew a lot of stuff, and some of it survived. It's not the most optimal amount that actually survived, but there's stuff that, like I said, I feel like I am improving, and I have improved significantly since last year, because I'm not just being, kind of carefree about it. I'm actually taking more steps. But anyways, though, I just wanted to kind of show off. I went on a ramble, but this is, I guess, the progress. It's what I did. finally, after a year, finally put some holes in the bottom. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna plant in these yet, but I do know that I'm going to plant some good stuff. Maybe I think this would be a great opportunity. Oh wait, just remember you might want to check in here for the stuff that is the plastic. It's much less loose. It's easier to pull out, but you definitely want to make sure it doesn't get stuck in the soil. Like I said, I need to go and wash my hands though before I go and touch anything. But yeah, this is my little technique of drilling holes in these containers without a screwdriver, just nothing but a pair of scissors and a candle. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see y'all soon.